Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we unpack the confusing world of business and finance one document at a time. Today we're diving into a filing from Trustmark Corporation, and let's just say their latest report might have some interesting tidbits about their progress as we head towards the end of 2025. Before we dive in, if you want more of these straightforward, no fluff analyses of corporate filings, make sure you're subscribed. And hey, if you want to connect with other finance enthusiasts and get more insights, join our Discord community. The link is in the description. Alright, let's get straight to it. This document is a Form 8K, which is basically a report for significant events that a company needs to tell the public about right away. Think of it as a special announcement. In this case, Trustmark Corporation, you might know them as TRMK, trading on the Nasdaq Global Select Market, is making something available to investors and analysts. What they're actually releasing is an investor slide presentation. This isn't a big, groundbreaking announcement of a merger or anything hugely dramatic. Instead, it is more like a regular update. The company management will be using these materials to talk to people who invest in or follow the company, helping them understand Trustmark better as we move through the final quarter of 2025. Now, when we look at the actual details of what's being presented, it's not a financial statement in the usual sense. This filing is more about providing context and information. It is likely full of nice looking graphs and talking points that management will use. We don't get detailed numbers directly in this 8K beyond the fact that they are providing this presentation. It is also important to note how they are filing this. They have these checkboxes, and one of them is about written communications pursuant to Rule 425 under the Securities Act. This means they are essentially telling the CC that these presentation materials might also be considered a form of communication related to securities offerings or sales. It's a bit of regulatory housekeeping to make sure they're covered. So what does this all mean? For Trustmark Corporation, this filing signals a period of active engagement with the investment community. They are proactively sharing information, which is generally a good sign as it shows transparency. Management is out there trying to communicate their story and outlook to key stakeholders. The company's common stock is listed on the Nasdaq Global Select Market under the ticker symbol TRMK. This puts them in the big leagues with other well-known companies, and their shareholder communications are therefore closely watched. This specific item, Regulation FD disclosure, is really the heart of why this 8K is being filed. Regulation FD, or fair disclosure, is a rule by the SEC that essentially says if a public company gives important, non-public information to certain people, like Wall Street analysts or big investors, they have to give that same information to everyone else. By filing this 8K and attaching the presentation, Trustmark is ensuring that what they discuss with investors is publicly available, adhering to that fair disclosure rule. The actual meat of what Trustmark is sharing externally would be in Exhibit 99.1, the investor slide presentation. We don't have the content of that presentation here, but based on the filing itself, we can infer its purpose. It's designed to help people understand the company's current position and future prospects. Companies often use these presentations to highlight their strategic goals, financial performance, even if not in hyper detail, here and key operational updates. Given that this is an update for investors and analysts for the fourth quarter of 2025, we can assume the presentation likely touches upon performance trends, maybe some forward-looking statements about their business sectors and their strategy for navigating the market. It is a tool for them to manage investor expectations and potentially generate interest in the company's stock. And the filing is signed by Thomas C. Owens, the Treasurer and Principal Financial Officer. This tells us that the financial leadership is overseeing these communications, reinforcing the importance of how the company presents itself to the financial world. Looking at this filing from a strategic perspective, Trustmark is essentially in a communication mode. They are proactively managing their investor relations as the year winds down. While this particular 8K doesn't contain a treasure trove of new financial figures directly within its text, it points to ongoing efforts to communicate their progress and strategy to the market. The effectiveness of this presentation will hinge on how well it addresses investor concerns and highlights potential growth opportunities for TRMK. It's a standard yet important part of a company's life cycle, keeping your investors informed and confident about your direction. So, what's my take on all of this for Trustmark? This filing itself is more of a signal than a deep dive into financials. It shows they are actively managing their investor relations, which is a positive. They are getting their message out to analysts and investors. The real story, however, lies within that attached presentation, which isn't detailed here. We need to see what they are actually saying in those slides to truly assess their direction. Are they highlighting strong revenue growth, effective cost controls, or expansion into new markets, or are they glossing over challenges? Without the slides, it is hard to say definitively. However, Their presence on the Nasdaq Global Select Market and the fact that their CFO is signing off indicates a commitment to transparency and compliance with SEC regulations like Regulation FD. It suggests they are aiming for consistent communication, which is a fundamental building block for investor trust. The key risk here is that if the presentation doesn't deliver compelling insights or fails to address market concerns, this proactive communication could fall flat. Conversely, if it unveils a strong strategy for 2026, it could boost investor confidence. Alright? That is our breakdown of Trustmark Corporation's latest filing. What are your thoughts on this kind of investor communication? Does it tell you Trustmark is on the right track? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this dissection helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us out, and subscribe so you don't miss our next corporate deep dive. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community, link in the description, to continue the conversation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.